Hey guys, it's Nathan from the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. We are just outside of Parkersburg, West Virginia, where we're going to do a bikepacking trip on the North Bend Rail Trail. We're at the Happy Valley Trailhead here at the North Bend Rail Trail, which is organized and operated as a linear state park of the state of West Virginia. So we're gonna have a wild and wonderful weekend. We are here in the first weekend in May, and where it is got an unseasonably cold forecast. So it's in the 50s today, but it's actually gonna drop down into the 30s for both tonight and tomorrow night. So we are having to dress a little warmer than usual. We may get a little rain today, hopefully not too bad, but otherwise it should be a pretty pleasant weekend. The North Bend Rail Trail is a 72-mile long rail trail. The riding surface is a combination of crushed limestone, ballast, and cinder. I think that in many ways this will be a well-maintained trail. However, I do expect to be more diversity. So not as smooth as its sister trail here in West Virginia, which is the Greenbrier River Trail, which is a very finely hard-packed, very consistent riding surface throughout. What we may lack in terms of trail consistency, we are going to more than make up for in terms of tunnels. We've ridden many rail trails, and one of our favorite features on rail trails are the tunnels. And the North Bend Rail Trail has more tunnels, definitely per mile, than any other place that we've ridden, but certainly more than any other place we've ridden. So this particular trail has 13 tunnels, 3 of which are abandoned, so we anticipate they're going to ride through 10 different tunnels in the span of that 72 miles. We're going to do this as an out and back, so we are arriving afternoon on a Friday, so we've just had lunch in downtown Parkersburg, made our way out to the trailhead, and we are going to head east towards Cairo tonight, where we're going to camp at the state park, so that's going to be about 25 miles. Tomorrow we're going to get up and we're going to ride a little north of 60 miles. We're going to basically ride all the way out to the eastern terminus of the trail, and then turn around and come back to a county park. I believe it's called Doddridge County Park, where they have a campground, and we'll stay there tomorrow night, ride some 60 plus miles, and then on Sunday we'll actually ride back here to Parkersburg to finish out the ride with a little over 50 miles. We're really looking forward to this ride. It's kind of our season opener, so I had some really big adventures last fall, riding both the Erie Canalway Trail and then the Gap and the C&O together. Had a pretty rough winter. Personally didn't get a lot of riding in, so I'm really happy to get back out here for some bike therapy and ride these rail trails. Come along with us as we ride the North Bend Rail Trail. Hey guys. All right, we're crossing Walker Creek. This is one of several, like 35 bridges on this route. Pretty. So we got a road crossing, and see grass has grown up pretty good here, but gravel's still in good shape, but it's definitely grown up. We've enjoyed a lot of tree cover so far in this section. So we're seeing a lot of these old lights and I guess signals on the old railroad, and several picnic tables along the way. We've been getting a little rain, and we're seeing a nice little shelter with some pit toilets. So we're gonna stop off here, and I'll say that one thing to be aware of in terms of this trail is that there doesn't seem to be water resources. So you need to be prepared to go, like there's none at the trailhead, there's none at the rest stops. You're really relying upon the little towns. So you're gonna need to go basically into town, be prepared to go like 25 or 30 miles with carry enough water for that, and then get water in town or at the campground you're staying at or something like that. All right, coming up on our first tunnel, about 13.5 miles or so in. There's a big 21 up there above the archway. Definitely want to bring lights for this trail. There's several long tunnels and the riding surface is pretty different depending on the tunnel. This one's definitely uneven and got some water in it. I always love riding through the tunnels. We are about 17.5 miles in. We are in Petroleum, and here's the petroleum shelter, and I believe there's a campground here. And there's a pit toilet over there. I will say, in terms of the resources, that there is a very nice trail map, so I'll include a link to that in the YouTube description. But it basically details, you know, a breakdown by mile marker, and I haven't pointed it out, but there are nice painted mile markers out here, so you kind of know where things are relative to each other. So that's a good planning resource. At mile marker 22.8, we passed through tunnel number 19, or what's known as the Silver Run Tunnel, which is said to be famously haunted by the Lady in White. According to local lore, she was a young bride-to-be who disappeared while traveling to her wedding in the early 1900s. Since 1910, multiple train engineers reported seeing a woman in a pale white dress standing on the tracks inside or near the mouth of the tunnel. One specific account claims an engineer refused to brake for the figure, only to have telegraphers at the next station to report a woman in a white gown riding on the front cowcatcher of his locomotive as it pulled in. The tunnel is approximately 1,376 feet long and brick lined with retaining alcoves or manholes where railroad workers once stood to avoid passing trains. Coming into Cairo, West Virginia. Not to be confused with Cairo. American Discovery Trail. So this rail trail is part of a greater vision called the America Discovery Trail. Kind of an interesting scene here. So we got a bunch of free-range chickens, and then over here there's a goose kind of nesting to the right of that building there. Oh, ducks. Tunnel number 3. As we're crossing over a Bond Creek. Oh, and here is the turn for North Bend State Park. So we will go through that tomorrow morning. We'll make our way down to the campground. Natural gas and oil well, engine and pump. We were very impressed with the overall condition and facilities at River Run Campground and North Bend State Park. If you want to get dinner at the lodge, you should note that it's a bit of a trek and you'll have to either hike or bike up a rather large hill, but we thought it was worth it. It should also be noted that the state park requires you to book for 2 nights on a weekend. I understand why they set it up that way, but it would be nice if they might consider offering a handful of sites that could be booked for 1 night with through riders in mind. But we'd stay here again, and we'd recommend it, especially for those who might be interested in coming to stay for a couple of nights and do shorter day rides in either direction from the park. Tunnel number 3, tunnel 13, Bonds Creek, length 353 feet. Riding surface is pretty smooth in here. Nice little curve, bricked in. Nice stuff. Quick, we have tunnel number 4, number 12. Rolling up on a really cool looking tunnel, like hand cut kind of thing. Tunnel number 10. Dick Bias, length 377 feet. So tell us about Dick Bias, Jacob.
He apparently was heavily involved in the creation of the North Bend Rail Trail.
Cool. Yeah, and you can see there's a, well, we can see a little bit of light. I like tunnels with bends in them, and this one is probably the third one we've had, or maybe even that has a bend in it. So it's raw, man. This is
raw. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly
no. Yeah, this is cool. No brick liner here. Cool. Oh, look at this. So not a tunnel, but really cool, pretty cut.
Same idea. It's your top.
Yeah. We are to our 7th. Is this our 7th tunnel or 6th tunnel? It's hard, it's easy to lose count. But this is tunnel number 8, Pennsboro, length 558. And in this section, east rather, of Ellenboro, there's a lot more like water on the trail, and there's a lot of water in this tunnel. I don't know how much is coming up on the camera, but the left side is a lot of standing water. There's little places where people would stand on the side here as somebody worked for the railroad to kind of dodge an oncoming train, which is kind of interesting to think about. Old Pennsboro B&O Depot. Cool old building. 7, Pennsboro, 779 feet. So many tunnels. And this is cool. A lot of these have at least a slight bend in them, which is neat. Crossing into Doddridge County, and we're going to stay at the Doddridge County Park this evening. But before we do that, we're going to ride all the way out to the end of the trail. Very different in certain sections of this trail, a lot of variety. Definitely lots of visual interest. Station. Trail surface has changed again, pretty grown up through here. All right, at this point I've totally lost track of the number of tunnels we're on, but this was built in 1969. And how long, Jacob?
2,297?
2,297, and we believe this is the longest one on the trail. And it's really cool. There's definitely, this is long and straight, and I think, well, there's some mud here and there's some water in the thing. So, but other than you know, they're going to get the optical illusion effect of this tunnel where it, you know, feels like it's getting longer as you go through. This tunnel is quite long. The only tunnel that I run through that's longer is the Big Savage Tunnel on the Gap. This is really impressive. No lights in here. Make sure you bring a light. You're gonna need it. Longest tunnel of your life. West Union, we got some pavement. Welcome to West Union. We're about 26 miles into our ride today, and we are passing the connector trail to Doddridge County Park, which is where we are going to come back to camp tonight. So now we're riding out into, there's gravel underneath there, but looks like we're riding in the grass. And now we're on pavement. We're a few miles outside of Salem. I'm not sure what this facility is. Maybe like a natural gas refinery. If you know, tell us in the comments. Pretty interesting. Looks like we're in the land of Robin Hood. Sherwood Forest Road coming up. Another tunnel number 4, Sherwood. Length 846 feet. This one's actually pretty decent surface through here. Coming into Salem for our lunch stop. Cool little area, old train depot, little caboose. All right, we're coming up on what I'm sort of guessing is our 10th and final tunnel. I've definitely lost count as of this point. But it's definitely a major feature of this trail. Number 2. Definitely rougher, wetter surface through here. A lot of, fair amount of standing water in this section. Woo! Big swaths of standing water. So we just come the other side of this tunnel, and I'll say, in my opinion, I think this one is the hardest to navigate. You're coming uphill from this direction or going down for this direction, but either way, there is what basically presents like a small creek, which just makes its way down, and it gets pretty wide in some places. So definitely want to like, still rideable, but definitely all that water makes it more technical. So keep that in mind. But when you get over here, very, very pretty. So we've reached Wolf Summit, which practically speaking is the eastern terminus of the trail, at least in terms of development. There is another mile or so. I think we're at mile marker 71 or so here, and officially it goes to like 72, or will go to 72, but it gets rougher. And you know, so this is kind of the starting point for anybody starting at the eastern end of the trail and heading west. I will say in terms of elevation that the overall elevation when you start the way we started has been up, but that's a little misleading because there's a lot of up and down, especially I think you're crossing watersheds. Looking to my biologist friends here, and then also as you go up to train tunnels, there's been an incline and a decline on each side of a tunnel. So while we are always look forward, I like to stack it this way. I mean, it was practical for us coming from Kentucky to basically come this way, but if you're just riding it one direction, you probably may want to start on this end because your overall sloping would be down. So we're gonna turn around and head back towards Doddridge County Park for the evening. Any kind of mid-ride reflection?
I think it's been a very nice trail.
I know, Danny, you watched a lot of other videos and people were talking about the riding surface kind of being rough. I would say that it is varied, but it kind of probably depends largely on what you're expecting, right? So if you're a seasoned gravel cyclist, this is all very rideable stuff. If you are coming from having ridden the Gap or some with really finely crushed, limestone, which is almost like road-like, there's not a lot of that on this trail. There's some. There's sections of pavement, but it's varied. I mean, wouldn't you say? So,
very short.
Yeah. People often ask about tire width, and I would say definitely don't this isn't road bike territory. Certainly you'd be very comfortable on a gravel bike or hardtail mountain bike. I would say 40 millimeter tire or wider recommended. Yeah, all very, very pleasant. A lot of beautiful scenery and tunnels galore. Galore. Yeah, super pretty coming it from the side, but I'm gonna put my camera away to navigate through this tunnel. Salem Farmers Market, Golden Depot Stage. Taking a little connector trail to Doddridge County Park. Mini tunnel. Well, good morning. We are waking up at Doddridge County Park, and they've had a campground here for about 8 years. And this out in front of us is the RV parking. I didn't film coming into the park. Well, I'll get some footage on the way out. There's actually a really nice kind of gravel road that goes along a creek down here. But anyway, really nice facility here. Here's their camp office. And warmest heated showers I've ever had. Really, really nice. Great water pressure, crazy hot water. They have some tent sites, and when we came in last night, it was after the office had closed. And so the way it's drawn on the map, there's a yurt here, and the yurt, we understand, has actually HVAC, and can sleep up to 4 to 5. I'm not sure what the bedding situation is, but would have been nice on a night like last night. So it got down to freezing down here. We have had ice on bicycle seats and sort of proof positive that we're also down in a valley by a creek. So definitely kind of cold. The way that the tent sites were drawn, it made it look like they were actually down this little pathway. So I kind of expected just you walk down a little path and there'd be, you know, sort of flatter areas right here. You can see there's actually a hillside. And what we discovered after we arrived and trying to perplex to figure out where we were, that there's actually tent sites going up these stairs and then up in here, and it's kind of overgrown up there and ground uneven. So we ended up setting up, there's nobody was running the yurt. We ended up setting up here, and one of the folks who worked here came by and they didn't make us move, which was nice. But so I would say if you are camping here, probably best to plan to use this. There's nice level sites here, and again, really nice facilities. So again, we'll get some footage after we break camp and roll out of here as we're heading back up to the trail. And definitely some standing mud up here, so just be careful. Back to that longest tunnel, and it's been a steady uphill climb to this point until we, you know, reach this, and then I think we're gonna be heading down again. We're passing mile marker 48. You can see the really nicely made new signs and the mile posts. And one thing that's really nice about riding this direction is you're basically counting down your distance to the end of the trail with one note. So there's about the trailhead at Happy Valley is like 9/10 of a mile from the actual end. But that 9/10 is currently closed to the public and is all, you know, grassed over and not really developed. So basically, if you're riding this direction, you just have to -1, and that's how many miles you have remaining. Been heading up the second long climb of the day. Here's country trails, bikes, downtown Cairo. This is really presenting as very, very charming with the sun shining today. Still climbing. Coming up on the last tunnel.
As always, we hope you found this content useful. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.